Hello, my name is Maris, and welcome to my show, Critical Root Zone, where we dig deep with inquiring minds to get to the root of sustainability, going below the surface to rebuild trust while supporting all voices on our journey to a climate-positive planet. Dude, welcome to CRZ. Russ, Jaffee, Judah.
Big up.
Big up.
Wagwan family. Indeed, this is dope.
Which your name.
Thank you for having me, by the way.
You're welcome. Thank you. Period. We've been talking about this for a long time since we met. How long have we known each other now? So a year and a half?
It's 2023.
A year, or like a year, because we met in the summer last year, right?
We did. I feel like we met before. We met at Jackalope.
Yeah.
I think.
At NSS.
At NSS.
But it was a summer, I feel like.
It was.
And it had to be last year.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't that long ago.
We do, you know what? We've been so active. Since
yeah.
the day we have linked up, it's like, dude, I feel like I've been knowing you for about almost 4 years. No cap. Like, man, that's crazy. But we've did like 1,000 events since that day. You know what I'm saying? That's solid. I love that.
Yeah, that's special for sure. You're another like twin flame, man. You're my brother, for real. When I met you, I knew you. And there's people that I know in my life that it clicks like that. So
Overstood.
Right. Overstood.
Kindred, I think they call it like kindred spirits.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. We are. You're on my show today because we're going to talk about your story and who you are today, how you've overcome your challenges, and how your life has led you to be in sustainability, in a steward of the earth. When I think of a steward of the earth, I think of you. Like you say that often, being good stewards of the earth. I love that title, man, because we are. I feel like we are all earth guardians, man.
Indeed.
Shout out to Deep Tropics, Deep Culture.
For real.
We're about to speak together.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like dreams, man. Dreams. We get to speak on our hearts and on sustainability for this weekend for a fundraiser with Deep Culture. And man, that's just a dream. So
Indeed.
Well, we worked. I'm thinking about the words after Red and I spoke about what work. Every time I say work, I'm going to be thinking about it now, Red.
Indeed. And we do a lot of purpose work. We
do. We've given ourselves. And we continue to do it. And it fills us, actually. I know I speak for myself. Like it fills my cup.
Facts.
And that whole idea that people are burned out or drained when they're working because they got to work versus fulfillment and being empowered by standing in your purpose, no matter how much money you're going to make from it, you're just doing it because it fills you. Your spirit is whole. And then all this energy is always with me. I mean, I'm just ready to go all the time.
Facts.
There are times I need to rest.
Facts.
We talked about that last episode. You have to listen to yourself because you're different. But everyone has a different but the same story because we're all humans going through all these different experiences, unique to ourselves.
Facts.
But really the same because we're all struggling. We're all celebrating. We are all doing the same thing in essence. Growing, evolving. Working is, I think, something that we're told we have to do. Society creates a lot of things.
We're programmed. You know, we're centralized in tradition. We're controlled. We're programmed and centralized in tradition, you know, in America. So, you know, to not go with the flow of working that regular 9 to 5, we speaking about sustainability, engaging in things that don't bring you fulfillment, engaging in things that isn't in your alignment. Man, it's hard. You know, it takes so much to have a little bit. Living in Nashville, you know, it takes so much. It takes a whole lot to have a little bit. Whether that's a peace of mind, whether that's, a place to lay your head, or whether that's a tribe to support your mission, values, and goals. It takes so much to have a little bit.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's exhausting. It could be exhausting to an extent.
How did you get to this point, man? We talked about your story. When I first met you, we went and walked at Cornelia Park.
Mm-hmm.
What a great day. It was super windy.
With Samson?
With Samson, my little maniac.
I love that dog. I feel like, no cap, I feel like I'm like a Dr. Doolittle. I really be feeling like I can talk to animals.
Same.
Or I have some type of like, I think I have good energy. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that 100%. 100%.
I feel like when it comes to animals, dude, it's just it's just an experience. Let's just say. But how did I get here? How did I get to this? How did we get to this point?
Right here, man. Let's talk about it. Let's share. Let's
the
enlighten.
Big Bang. I just plopped here. No, I'm just playing. like a genie.
Period.
I got here through trial, error. I got to this point where I'm at from ignorance and confidence, right? I feel like you got to have both in order to be strong.
Hell yeah.
Human, right? You got to have a certain level of ignorance and a certain level of confidence. Born and raised in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm from East Nashville. I've lived all over Nashville, really. From Gallatin to Goodlettsville to Madison. I lived all over Nashville.
Everywhere.
But, right, you know what I'm saying? But East Side is really my home. And also where Recycle and Reinvest, that's where we, our office is and where we do a large amount of our work. And, before, I was a CEO and an artist. And I'm always going to be, I'm just a child of God, growing up in East Nashville, growing up, in a single parent home. My father, he died when I was like 13. So like we were aware and knew each other, but I wouldn't say I had a strong relationship with him. Growing up, I say in the South, it opened my eyes to a lot of things that I feel like some of my other counterparts, maybe up north, my cousins rather, probably in Chicago, they probably weren't privy to, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So whether that be the education system or whether that be the racism, whether that be the, the lack of pride as a Black person,
mm-hmm.
I see less of that in my community from my people in the South than I do in the North as compared to the North. But I feel like also it's it's like that because of the civil rights movements and all the abolition, all the civil rights movements and all the the roots of slavery and how that's connected to the South and all these different things.
The South was slow, man.
Right.
The South wasn't letting go, man.
Not at all.
They weren't doing it. And yeah.
Up north they were moving a little bit ahead, a little bit more advanced. So all of that contribute, to what we have today. It's a totally different generation, you know what I'm saying, than what it was then. And I think that's something else that's special that I get to see living in Nashville. When I say different generations, I'm referring to my elders. I'm referring to my mentors. I'm referring to the youth. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to exist in both spaces with these different generations and just how we respond to things and how we rally behind certain issues, I think is very unique and special. But, I got here just by way of just being involved with a family that is, first, my family. My family is a very diverse family. In my family, there's, people with all different beliefs, and there's all people with all different types of disciplines and practices they have, and this helped mold the person that I am today, as well as there's all different types of music style, in my family, which is super dope around like the holidays.
Oh, I can't. I'm coming.
It's super, super dope. So it's like you got like, Muslims over here, you got Rastafaris over here, you got Christians over here, you got the Baptists, Christians, it's
all
like
in your family?
All of my family.
That's super cool.
You know what I'm saying? And it's
everybody's cool.
Everybody's cool. Everybody's able to flow. But there's it's almost like our frequency is love, right? That's what we meet common ground.
Our frequency is love.
I grew up in a family where it's like we got all types, and then we got some people that's not spiritual at all. They living by the laws of the streets. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, I got family members like literally, the streets is their 9 to 5. You get what I'm saying? They have no thoughts or ideas, on how to do anything else or do anything that is isolating that area of their life. So, and they're also wise to their own, they're also wise to their own extent. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like just having all these different experiences, you know what I'm saying? And also, getting incarcerated when I was young. Once my father, I feel like left, this earth, and I was, in a position to where the influences that I had were not, the best. I feel like that inspired me to do other things. You get what I'm saying? But, after, like I said, experiencing that and seeing that and getting out at 22, I feel like going through that, it kind of, also like had I think it's called like a paradigm shift, like a conscious shift.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like my mind just completely altered. You know what I'm saying? Like my approach to life just completely was shattered. You know what I'm saying? Just experiencing that. And once I come out of position, I'm a little bit more fragile to put myself together. And putting myself together is what gave me the strength that you see today, So yeah, that's who I am. I'm a child of God, and I'm a person who's been, living in the South with a very diverse family and just engaging myself and being curious, you know what I'm saying, to either learn more or be better,
Hell
and
yeah.
not be a victim of my situations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Our frequency is love, baby.
Yes. Keep the frequency love. You feel me? Because if it ain't love, then move around. You know what I'm saying? Because like we only got one life. I feel like, and we only got one life, and we only have, every day we wake up, this is our first time, this is our first day, and this is the first chance. When I met you, I didn't have a chance to rehearse that. You get what I'm saying? What we're doing today, we didn't have a moment to rehearse this. This is the first time, this is the first day, this is the first try. And it's like, we wake up every day like that, and people expect you to just get it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, fam, this is my first day on the job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I blow up the building, that's what we got insurance for.
Wow.
It's my first day. I
Yeah.
don't know. You know what I'm saying?
For real. Like, start over, man.
Mm-hmm.
Start over every time. Every time until you get it. Until whatever that is. Because you don't have to get anything. It's this mind game of like, you got to do this or you got to be here, you got to do that. Like, you don't see people's progress or journey when they come out the other side. They all know. We hear that all the time. You don't know what that person went through.
Right.
Right. And that's why you don't judge a book by its cover. That's why when you see somebody who's famous or somebody that's laying on the street corner, like, you don't know at all the difference. They could be the exact same story, right?
Big facts. Big facts.
And you were incarcerated for how long?
I did 6 years, 9 months, number of hours and minutes. 6 years, 9 months.
6 years, man.
I did long enough. As they say, I did enough time for all of us. You feel me? Like, yeah, it was, I felt every day. Because I got locked up when I was like a juvenile. I got locked up as a juvenile and I got charged as an adult. You get what I'm saying? So that's like a different level of
How did that happen?
Punishment.
How did that happen?
Man, it just happened, naturally, I would say. Organically. Honestly. But it happened, and it happened organically. What I mean by that for people watching, I mean, it happened, I was in the alignment of criminality. I was in the alignment and I was around other people who were underserved, under-resourced, other people who were dealing with mental health issues and not able to recognize them and what they are. And as I'm engaging in this crowd, I had got the idea to, I got the idea to let's go rob a place, but it really stemmed from gang banging. You know, when I was coming up, that's really what it stemmed from. So like, we didn't just rob a place just to rob a place. We was just gang banging. You get what I'm saying? And when you in that field, it comes with certain commitments that you have to follow through on. And during at that time, as I made my commitment, stupid commitment, right? To be the best and the baddest that I could be, you know, and really the most, you know, how can you be the most
respected?
No, not necessarily respected, but how can you be the most intimidating? You know what I'm
saying? Is that like a defense mechanism, you think? Like a protection?
It was definitely a defense mechanism, but it's also a survival tactic. You know, this field that these young kids are in, which is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. Because when you grow up, like I said, when you grow up without the father, when you remove the father from the home, you remove the structure and the order that was once placed, right? Mom has a certain structure and order, but that's not the same reinforcement that comes when a man is in the play, right, with the family. And I didn't have that. And if I did have that, it wasn't the best example. So, you know, how did we get to the point of actually, you know, robbing this pawn shop and stealing like 32 handguns? We took like $2,000. And I ended up shooting the owner of the place because he had a gun. Only reason I shot because he had a gun. He was reaching, and I, you know, was like, "Damn, it's either me or you." You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, but when you in that specific territory, it comes with a level of survival, right? That you have to be able to tap into immediately.
Wow.
So, did that, and end up getting caught. And then when I got caught, what gave me the time that I got, I was already committing crimes before I got caught for that crime. So they ran my fingerprints, and me being stupid, you know what I'm saying? I didn't wear fingerprints when I was doing the other crimes. So what happens is you get charges added on to your caseload. And that's what gave me the time. Because originally I was looking at 30 years. Right, they was gonna give me 30 years, and they wanted me to sign for 30 years. So they stayed at 30 years for like a few court dates, then they went down to 15. They stayed there at a few court dates, and we kept pushing it off because I'm young, so they thinking like, oh, he's stupid, he'll sign for anything. And a lot of people were. A lot of kids signed their life away for 40 years, 30 years, like they signing this shit away. And that's scary, but at the same time, it's like, man, you never know what you do to you in that position. Like, honestly. And to be in that position under 25 before your frontal lobe is even developed and you're more aware of your value in the position that you play in life, you know, that's even more detrimental.
Wow.
You know, so I went in at an age where it was like, you know, monkey see, monkey do, right? And I was monkey see and monkey do. And when monkey see, monkey do dumb things, you get the consequences that come with it. And, you know, I learned when I put myself in that position, you know, it was like, I was like, damn, well, you know, you want to be a gangster, here you go. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, then that switches on. But after a while, after so much stuff happens, you get to the point where your soul becomes dehydrated. You get to a point where your mind becomes like just racked with paranoia, anxiety, right? Or just like, you're not seeing things in a proper perspective. You're seeing things in a savage perspective.
Skewed, yeah.
In a skewed perspective, right? Thank you for that word. Appreciate it. In a skewed perspective. So it's like, you know, there's a song, and since you're a music person, you know what I'm saying, you can play this. I don't know if you're able to play this song, you know, because you got copyrights and all these things.
Oh, man, you know.
ESTG, one of my favorite artists, he's one of my favorite, like, they call it toxic. There's this word called toxic. He's one of my most favorite toxic artists, along with Future. You know, he said a bar, he was like, all that going savage in the pen, turn my guy out. You know what I'm saying? Turn his mind out. And people don't understand when you living in a certain state of toxicity and unhealthy boundaries and a poor environment where people are not contributing to the best version of you or not able to reciprocate in a way that is deserving, you're going to, mentally, it's going to turn you out inside before it turns you out outside. And turn you out is like a term, an umbrella term that I'm using right now to like represent or like speak on not being in alignment, right? So, and I think that's important. So like a lot of these young kids, you know what I'm saying? They're not in their proper alignment, right? They're not in their, they don't understand, they don't have understanding or they don't have knowledge of self. And having knowledge of self is what brought me to this place I'm at as well. You know what I'm saying? Understanding myself first, understanding who God is to me and how that empowers me and how I should communicate that. And also how I should represent that. You know what I'm saying? So
yes,
all of that is like super important and has, I would say, contribute to the positive change that we see today. Yeah.
Reflection.
Right. Reflection. Restore and restore and what is it? Restore, restore, and repurpose. Yeah. Restore. RAS. I don't know what I came with my head, but it was big when you said it. Big restore.
I love it.
Indeed.
Well,
restoring the earth and the people. Yeah, that's
you're a
what
Rastafarian.
Seen. That means yes in patois. That's another way to be like yes or seen. Be seen and heard.
That's beautiful, man. So how did that transition happen from that mindset where you chose a different path? Because you were 6 years in a place that could have broke you. And you said toxicity and unhealthy boundaries and being a product of that environment, but also being a product of the environment before you got there. And then how it almost took away half of your life.
Man.
And that you didn't sign those papers. How did you even know not to? How did you know? Did your lawyer tell you like, hey, wait longer? Or did you have other help? Like, how did you know that you could get less?
I didn't know I could get less.
Were you at that moment believing in God? Was this
no?
No,
it wasn't even an act of faith. It was just a moment of, can I curse in this podcast?
Hell yeah.
Okay, it was just a moment of like, I stopped giving a fuck about life.
Yeah.
So I felt like, if I'm not going to sign my death certificate, but you can come kill me. That's how I felt. So I just kept riding it out. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, and I'm speaking metaphorically, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, the way that prison is set up, it's set up for you to crash out. It's set up for you to lose yourself and lose your mind, lose your soul, right? And I felt like at that time, that's what I did. I became immersed into, the idea of what it means to be a thug or a gangster, right? So I'm not saying like I started to enjoy prison. That's not what I'm saying. But I just started to like stop caring. It was like
stop giving a fuck.
Stop giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because it was like if either way, I'm going to be locked up. You know what I'm saying?
You were freeing your mind. You were freeing yourself of the stress and the anxiety because what else are they going to take from you, man? Like right. What else do you have left but to trust yourself, trust that there is a plan. If your heart is pure, which it sounds like little by little.
It wasn't pure then though.
But you were
I was starting myself though. Yeah.
To feel like, right, that question like, man, real fucking gangster. Real gangster we got here. Right? Because your life flashed in front of your eyes.
Right.
And yeah, that transition, because who you are today, who I know, like that's your soul is the same. It's still you. In this earthly place, we make decisions based on the best stuff we have at hand.
Thanks.
With the people that do guide us or don't and are around us. We learn from them.
Facts.
And the cycle repeats itself unless you fight to get out of it, unless you have a moment where you let go.
Let go and focus on, I started to focus on what I could control. So I couldn't control how much time they're going to give me, but I could control how I respond to when my lawyer is calling me down or when I'm going to these court dates, or if I could control me. So I just felt like at that time, like, you know what? I ain't going to sign for shit. I'm going to just wait it out. You know what I'm saying? For real. I would just wait it out because it's like, what's the worst that could happen? And you know what I'm saying? Like at that time, I was just so like, man, fuck it, I'm here. Fuck it. Fuck it, I'm here.
Jesus, take the wheel.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, Haile Selassie, God, take the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Big Rastafari. So, I feel like, but at that time, it was more me stepping into thinking about what can you control and what matters most to you in this moment. And what I could control and what mattered to me at that moment was, what matters to me most is I don't want to lose me.
Hell yeah.
I done lost a lot of people. I done lost a lot of things. I have lost access to freedom and opportunities to improve myself for others. But what I cannot lose is I and I.
Yes.
It's I. You get what I'm saying? So I had to I started to grow more into that and focus more on, all right, what can I control? What can I control? What can get better? What do I have access to?
Yes.
What opportunities can I create? What opportunities can I create?
Yes.
Right? And I just started putting more focus on that in that time. Yeah. So, and as that went by, like I said, I ended up, by the grace of Jah, receiving, doing 12, signing for an idea sign, but I ended up signing for a 12. I got 12 years. It went from 30, 15 to 12. If I didn't sign the 12, it would have went to trial and I would have had to get 30 years, right? So once they told me, well, if you don't take this, the next court date is trial and you ain't gonna beat the case.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, 12 better than 30. You know what I'm saying?
Damn.
But really, I still end up, I feel like I'm still serving time because I still don't have opportunities and access to certain things. And if I do, it's like the runaround. It's like, man, I'm a whole new person. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm none of that shit that I was just telling you about. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm none of that person of, I'm none of that. I only use the word, gangster, thug, and I use those words to put it in the proper perspective. But like, I don't even see myself in that alignment. I see myself as a god, or a general. You get what I'm saying? So it's like for I, it's like, and I'm only speaking on this with you because it's like this is the.
These guys are yelling out here, yo.
Indeed. I thought we was on a college campus for a minute.
I don't know if we heard that, but you were. I was appreciating you getting loud. I'm like, dang.
So you feel me? So I feel like it's important that we understand when we're putting these things in perspectives and we're revisiting some of that old energy. We have to also understand that we're also summoning. You get what I'm saying? Things. So I don't want to never put out the negative that I did without bringing out the positive in the universe, right? Because that matters, right?
Right, we were talking about that, like Red and I.
Because that's a dark,
the yin and yang, man.
Right, and it's a dark space to talk about, and it also people don't know the words that you say summon. The things that you think summon.
Yes,
you get what I'm saying. You may think it's small, but your brain doesn't know that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And if your brain doesn't know that,
you're planting seeds, man.
Planting seeds. So I always try to make sure that I, bring the balance as we go into speaking on the abundance of what life is really about.
Yes, the balance. In the work that you do in Nashville, Tennessee, the work you do here, a lot of it is with the youth. And that's the future of tomorrow. That's our future. And what you're doing is so important and what you said with how your perspective changed or your message of what can I do? What do I have control over? How can I respond? What materials do I have or don't have? What do I need to go out there and get? And start making moves towards that. And yeah, tell me more, tell them about Recycle, Reinvest, B4L, all the things.
Right. I think before we hop to that, I gotta speak on what lifestyle changes did I make before I got to the
excellent idea
career changes, right? Give thanks to God. I haven't worked like a job not in my alignment in almost 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, it feels good.
You know,
same.
It's a blessing because
it's a blessing.
Man, that pandemic.
Oh yeah.
What a
time.
Right? But the lifestyle changes that I started to make, I started becoming more conscious and intentional because we're talking about sustainability. And sustainability is the root of a lot of things, if not everything. I started to be more conscious and intentional as opposed to deconstructive and spiteful. I also started to change my crowd that I hung out with and started to hang around more people I could learn from. There was a time where I hung around people that I could relate to because of my trauma. And it's like it was a lot of trauma bonding. It was a lot of, okay, you do this and you do such and you know such and such, I'm gonna be cool with you because we relate on that level. That was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That was bullshit. The relationship taught me a lot, but it was bullshit, bro. You get what I'm saying? It's like, that's not healthy. That's not, that's really not healthy.
But you're like, when you're in it, you know?
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm loyal to I'm loyal to a fault.
Right. This sucks, and that person is. I'm a victim.
Right.
We all commiserate together. That's a part of the journey. If you're willing to see outside of that, because you're speaking that into existence, you're reaffirming it every single time. You're just nailing yourself to a cross, man.
Big facts. Big facts.
That switch, it takes time. It takes time because it doesn't feel good at first, right? And people don't like that. You're gonna be the positive one. You can get the fuck out.
I used to get picked on. I used to get picked on like for being positive. It was weird as fuck in my. They be like, "Oh, you about to read? You about to read Malcolm X, ain't you? You about to be Black Pride, Black Panther, ain't you? Damn, you want to help the people, help the world, looking at mother." And it's like, man, black people will fry you about everything, bro. Like you can't, bro. Man, black people are hard on us. We are hard on ourselves. And it was, at the moment, I was like, I took it because that's our culture. But it's like also like, I started to distance myself from those people. You get what I'm saying? Because like, you don't understand who I'm growing into anymore. Nor do you not understand it. You're not even able to, you're not in a space to receive who I'm becoming.
Yes.
So I need to remove myself from you, right? I also started to eat different. I stopped eating chicken first. No, I stopped eating bacon first. Because I love bacon. That was the hardest one.
Yeah, me too, man.
And then I stopped eating
chicken. Why bacon first, though? Why bacon first? Is that the
I stopped
pork thing?
Yeah. I was highly... So my journey into knowledge of self didn't start with Rastafari. It really started with learning about just a bunch of different walks of life. A bunch of them.
Expand. Do expand, sir.
FOI, the Muslim brothers, like I really, really admired how their discipline that they have in their community. I really admired how their proficiency, to get things done collectively. I really admired how the black men that are a part of FOI, how they took care of their families and how they, trained themselves up as a, just to be prepared for anything.
Wow.
Like that was like, I never saw that, and if I did see that, it wasn't nothing like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so it's like to see that, it was like, and to be able to see them in undesirable places like the trenches and the projects, you know what I'm saying? That inspired me. It was like, whoa, man, these Muslim brothers are going to the worst areas and preaching about God. And people are going for it. It was like, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, because it was like,
right.
It still had an element of militancy. It still had a level of compassion. It still had a level of love. It still had a level of, human. You know what I'm saying? And also they put emphasis on about eating healthy. Never ever met a group of people who was that focus.
Food conscious, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
and focus, man. Yeah, on everything.
Everything.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? And like, they were like just focusing on all 9 areas of humans' social activity.
Every aspect, man.
From law, sex, politics, education.
Were they like cohesive? Like they're cohesive too. You think their communication with one another is super open? Like are they vulnerable people?
I would say from what I've witnessed, the Muslim community are very cohesive together as Muslims, not as the people in the world, right? That's stepping into like separatism. That's something else I started to see. Also, you know, but their level of separatism is like a needed thing, but also it's like it can rub some people the wrong way, depending on your understanding of unity, right? And their understanding of unity is, you know, we could be unified, but we don't have to always be together, right? And I love that because they preach a do for self message. And I think depending on how you're coming up, instead of not being that victim, and depending on what community you're coming from, not being that victim or pulling the victim card, but more so taking your losses and figuring out how to be empowered by them. That is something that, you know, the FOI Brotherhood shows. Now, I never pledged and I never became a Muslim, but that was one way of life that I was attracted to, and I wanted to learn more about.
And it made you not eat bacon anymore.
It made me not eat bacon. You know what I'm saying? My Muslim brothers would be like, oh, hey, y'all, you know that swine ain't good for y'all. I'd be like, man, I love bacon. They be like, man, you know, and they'll break down all the health benefits. But, you know, but like I said, I feel like what, you know, brought me to Rastafari was I feel like, you know, with some certain spiritual paths, they have their own definition of what it means to be a human. I don't connect to it.
Really?
I don't connect to it. That's why I became Rastafari.
Oh, okay. You're talking about Muslim.
Muslim, Catholic, everyone has their own like rituals and practices and disciplines that help you become a better human on this world.
Yes.
I don't connect with every philosophy though, right? I only connected with Rastafari.
Which is?
And which is the philosophy that Haile Selassie is the second coming of Christ. And I believe that a black man will deliver I from salvation. And that black man being ourselves as well as our ancestors that were once already here that started the work that we must finish. Rastafari also teaches I and I to be clean, not only in our eating, but what we consume. So our conscience are as holy or heavenly. So our temple, our body temple is as holy and heavenly as we speak on, or that is referenced in the Holy Bible, right? And we don't look at the Bible as a sacred book. We look at the Bible as an important book of history. We rely on history, science, mathematics, and tradition. All of that is part of Rastafari, which, you know, and it's not, Rastafari is rooted in ethocentric, Kemetic beliefs, I would say, but it is not.
What is that?
So ethocentric means it is centralized in the philosophy of Ethiopian history, as well as religion, which is Orthodox Jews, Ethiopian Orthodox Jew. And Rastafari is rooted, or ethocentric or Ethiopian Orthodox Jew, is rooted in that belief. Ethiopian Orthodox Jew or Ethiopian Orthodox Christianity is one of the oldest Christianities that has been practiced in Africa or in Ethiopia, more so. So that's why we don't disown or denounce Yahshua or Jesus Christ, but we don't refer to Yahshua as our savior because of the narrative and the imagery has been misconstrued and manipulated for one to embrace it in a way that it upholds certain capitalistic races as well as Roman Catholic perspectives. I would say, put it in that perspective. Yeah.
Yahshua meaning Jesus.
Saying, because the why Yahshua, Jesus is a term they came up with. And the J in Jesus, that J didn't start. Yahshua didn't become Jesus until the 15th century, right? And that's something that Rastafari has taught and also we like to bring to a light, because I think we're in a time where, and we've always kind of been like, if you live in America, it's kind of always been like it's just different capacities, different ways. Excuse me. But
my stomach's been rumbling over here.
we live in a space, a place where, you know, if you don't do it like this, you're doing it wrong. And that's not sustainable.
That is not sustainable.
That's a all or none mindset.
Indeed.
And it took, you know, now going into Be For Well, Recycle, Reinvest, and how I got to that, right? Because it took all of that of the way I eat, the people I'm around, the way I'm consuming media, how I'm digesting it, how I'm putting that in perspective. All of that gave birth to, first, it was B4L.
Bang for liberation.
Bang for liberation. As I was coming into knowledge of self, and as I was coming out of, you know, that unhealthy space, to be general, my mind started to shift on what I wanted to fight for now. My mind started to shift on what I wanted to be focused on now. A part of me didn't want to let certain parts go, but a part of me had to let certain parts go in order to grow. So the part of me that never really left is me being willing to be courageous, right? Me being willing to be courageous, me being willing to be curious, me being willing to stand firm in what I believe and what I think and feel about something, right? That didn't leave. Mm-hmm. What did leave is how I chose to spew that out, who I chose to engage with while I was doing that. That's what changed. And that's why it's bang for liberation, right? Because we still saying, you know, yes, understand yourself and be willing and be prepared to fight. But don't always look at you fighting for something as it have to be violent. Don't always look at you fighting for something as it have to be external. You know, the fight that we have is not, you know, it's not so much racial, but it's more so about the principalities and law. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a big spiritual war that cultivates the earth wars and that cultivates the segregation, right? Yeah. But we know we can't fight racism with racism, right? There's no, you know, so we got to be able to, you know, acknowledge things, put them in the proper perspective, and then allow it to incubate.
Yes.
You know, allow it to take its own form.
Yeah, and
not trying to be so controlling over it, but more so trying to create a framework where you can channel it. It's a difference between being controlling and channeling. I'm no longer a big controller. I'm more of a channeler, right?
Yes.
So like, what that means is, you know, it could be negative or positive, but like, I always tell the youth that I work with, you know, every time that you have, there's a difference between confrontation and conversation. Confrontation and conversation, right?
Facts.
Like sometimes you do have to confront people. What is it? It's confrontation and like I think it's another word I'm looking for. It's not like sometimes you have to address things where they're like can be a confrontation.
Yeah.
But sometimes
confront.
Is
it the same thing?
Confront. No.
Yeah, it is. Confrontation and confront are the same. But I feel like that's the word.
Yeah.
Because you have to.
Confirmation. That's what it was. So
confirmation.
Sometimes you have to get. Sometimes it's confirmation, and sometimes it's confirmation. Confirmation is confronting something means that you need to address this and get some straightening. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Confirmation is when you need to get clarity, right?
Let's go.
And the clarity is a conversation. The clarity doesn't always mean that it has to be confrontation.
Yeah.
Confrontation is sometimes needed, but it's not every conversation. It's not confrontation. It may be confirmation.
Ooh.
You get what I'm saying? That's what I try to tell my kids that I work with is like, the kids that we work with, they have a 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, as soon as, man, man, he posted this. Man, it's up. Man, I want to go do this.
Yeah.
Let's go do this. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why are y'all so quick to fight? Why are you so quick to like, damn, like, what is the middle? You know what I'm saying? It's like, some of these kids, they go from 0 to 1,000.
Teach them how to breathe.
You get what I'm saying? It's like, damn, do you have a middle? You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of them are like that because they're traumatized.
Mm-hmm.
I do that sometimes.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
It's a trigger reaction. You have to learn how to respond.
Yes.
You have to learn how to take that breath, how to let it go in the breath and analyze it.
Mm-hmm.
And figure out how you want to approach that situation. But we've been pushed. We've been pushed and poked and made to do.
Facts.
And exactly. It's a trauma response for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So the different kids you work with, because there's Bang for Liberation.
Indeed.
Recycle, Reinvest works with kids. So Bang for Liberation, hip hop artists are involved. It's artist liberation. How did you say it earlier?
It's Bang for Liberation. Our mission is to fight for freedom without violence. We are a committee of street healers.
Committee of street healers, exactly.
That go into the community or exist in creative spaces to either provide, receive, or be a part of healing. With B4L, the whole purpose of B4L, I felt like when I came out of prison, the music had changed a lot, right? There's a lot going on. I'm old, I guess, and I just wasn't vibing to that. I'm older. Yeah, that's the goal, though. The goal is to get old. Don't let them fool you and trick out your spot. The goal is to get old, right. For real. Like, fuck you, what you want to do? Die young? Like, fuck out of here.
We want to stay. We want to stay here. I'm going to 100
for real. I want to get the maximum.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because it's
right. We're doing the most. We're doing the most.
Going to tangent, but. B4L exists because there is that I have seen conscious street movement consistently available for the youth as well as the community that is speaking on how to be artists and also be, activate healing and also change the narrative of what is the norm. There is none other than B4L that I'm aware of with the, element of street knowledge, conscious, as well as legitimate street dudes from the trenches. You get what I'm saying? I don't know any. So when we came home, big up to my partner, my brother, Deron Alexander on Instagram. Man, big up to Big Six. That's my partner, my folks. Man, big up to Nino the Chief. Man, big up to anybody I don't even associate with. I ain't gonna say your name, but you know who you are. Big up to you too. Because all of these people, man, big up to Men IQ and Joe Boz. These men, some of these men I met while I was in prison, while I was going through my shift, and they know more of me from a whole different perspective. They were the first ones who, when I got out and I told them I was out, they came with $200, $300, $400 to say, hey, you want to do a block party? You want to be in the community? Let's do it. So that's why we have B4L. When it was times when I got locked up and I needed to be bonded out, B4L was there to bond me out. You get what I'm saying? Never had a family like that. I wasn't born with these people. You get what I'm saying? They genuinely and naturally rock with me. You get what I'm saying? That lit a fire in me. And I was like, yo, man, what if more people had a tribe like this? You know what I'm saying? That for me was like, at the time I had no idea or understanding about community organizing. Joe Boz and Ron Johnson were very instrumental in me becoming the organizer that I am today. For me, I just wanted to help people. You get what I'm saying? And honestly, I just wanted to help Black people. You get what I'm saying? Like, I didn't have the mindset of having, more room for any other people because of, one, Black people hurting the hardest and the most.
Yeah.
And I'm Black. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, when coming into this community organizing world, I didn't come into the community organizing world from no other perspective. I literally came out the streets, out the penitentiary. My family had an organization in East Nashville. I came back to the hood. It was nothing but little Black children. We was feeding them breakfast in at 6 a.m. I did that for 6 months. You get what I'm saying? that, and after reading all these books about Fred Hampton, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fannie Lou Hamer, Martin Luther King, who else? Man, my ancestors, Carter G. Woodson, Frederick Douglass, man, Amos Wilson. Man, I'm reading all these books, and to be able to come out and immediately, I'm everything I just read about, I'm lit. I'm ecstatic. But it don't stop there.
No.
Because that's not sustainable.
Right.
I started to grow, and I started to see other people like, damn, it's poor white kids here too. It was like, damn, shit, it's Africans. And it was like, man, what y'all doing? Can y'all come over here and help us do that? What y'all doing? Hey, man, can y'all come over? So as I started to move around the city now and I'm doing other things, we did B4L Block Party back in 2016. That was our first block, that was our first introduction. Came all out of pocket, you know what I'm saying? From the partners that came straight from their heart. In 2018, we were able to get a grant for the same block party because we had proven ourselves that, yes, this is what we want to do. But as we grew, I was like, I wanted to be recycle and reinvest. Because B4L, it's like B4L, the roots of B4L are Pan-Africanism because of RBG. RBG is a movement that started in New York City by a hip-hop group called Dead Prez. Dead Prez brought health and wellness as an element to hip-hop, and it changed the whole world. It changed the whole world. At
when
first,
you use music as a vehicle, it changes the masses when it comes from the heart. I didn't mean to stop you, but like that.
I agree.
The music aspect of it too. That is a connection for us because we're both artists and the message is all about the message.
Facts.
And what we choose to do with it. So you're taking your message that you learned, you're expanding it, and people were catching on, and the music was healing, and things were happening, and things are happening.
Facts. And like I said, what started out in with B4L and with the RBG movement going forward with that, it grew into recycle and reinvest because, my vision of how I saw myself and the impact in the community we could make grew past racial, it grew past like me seeing, now race is important. Don't get it wrong. Race is only important because they make it important.
Yeah.
Race is only important is because they do things to hide it. If it wasn't, if the society, they do things like critical race theory. You can't teach certain things in school. It's like, how can a child go to Ida B. Wells not learn about Ida B. Wells?
Wow. What, man? What?
So it's like race is only important because y'all do certain things that make it important.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like I feel I don't have to do nothing. But I feel like it's my responsibility and my duty, you know what I'm saying, since I came from what I came from, and since I have the roots that I have, it's my responsibility to either continue and perpetuate the violence in that narrative of falsehood, you know what I'm saying? Because the media honestly puts strong emphasis and hyper focus on the negative in our community as opposed to the positive. They do that intentionally, right? So I have to be, when I'm on these cameras, when I'm in these spaces, I need to have to be intentionally Black. But being intentionally Black is not about being rude. It's not about being violent. It's not about being confused.
Yeah, man.
It's being authentically myself in every space that I go in. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So it's nothing extra, but it's more intentional. Right? Because of, like I said, what I've been through and what I've come from, these are important to me because the people and the young kids that's looking up to me, they going through the exact same thing that I went through, if not worse.
Sure.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, there's no way I can just forget a certain part of me that is a part of me.
Yeah.
Whether I want to be conscious of it or not.
Right. And we all can be proud of ourselves. We can all be proud of our ancestry.
Yes.
We can. But what you're saying and what I completely agree with or understand as well is that when we avoid the truth,
man, you already going off from a great start.
We can't build.
Yes.
And
if we're not building from power, we're building from pity. I don't want you to have pity over me, what I've been through.
Or shame or guilt, because we need to come through and see it for what it is, what has happened, where we at now, and come from love.
And don't be stuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like we was talking about generations before this, aired, and I was talking about how, like, the reason we have the responses that we do now is because the generation is different. And the approach and how they attack us in media is completely different. But that's a generational thing, right? Because a certain generation, they're more passive, they're more cool, calm, collective. We're like, no,
this ain't flying.
This ain't flying. Hold up, that's not cool.
We're not gonna hang out and watch this go on for sure.
I appreciate that. You get what I'm saying? Because I'm a person I'm not stuck in one place. No, definitely not. But I'm not just gonna ease on over it like it don't exist. No. I'm cool with confrontation and confirmation. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So we need to be able to be in a space where we can build from power.
And receive, right? Receive the information or the like any of it. Just receive it and be able to let it go. There's so many themes that have been happening in these conversations. And I'm understanding my place in it more. With every person I meet and every story I hear, it shows me where I'm supposed to be in this.
Mm-hmm.
So if we don't have the conversations, if we don't confront the things, if we don't share the knowledge, then we don't know who we are.
Share the knowledge and collaborate on what you have access with.
What he said, the projects that you're doing are taking whatever is available and pushing the envelope a little bit more.
Facts.
And that's how we make progressive impact.
Facts.
And with children, they are the ones. They are the ones that are going to save themselves.
Facts. You do, because like what you learn when you get older, nobody's going to come save you. That's the harsh reality we all get when we get older. Like, damn.
Right.
Nobody's going to fix my teeth. Damn. I got to go fix my own chicken noodle soup. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Send me some money. Oh, they're not paying that bill. Okay.
Man, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, no more allowances. You create your own salary. You know what I mean? It's
you choose, man. You choose and how you want to fill that cup.
And there's power in that too, though. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes when you have so many things coming at you in life, you become to feel powerless. And you don't see that empowerment. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
And we got to always put things in the right perspective. So, and which also brings me to, you asked about B4R and our Black Blood. Black Blood came about because I was meeting so many great people and I was growing as an individual. But I couldn't share this experience with people.
Mm-hmm.
That was my issue.
And that's your podcast. Share that. Black Blood Voices, but spelled, how is it spelled again?
BLKBLOOD, Black Blood Voices. Season 1 is out now. Please go check it out. Available on www.rajjaffeejudah.com or SoundCloud. You can get the first season for free. The second season, I don't know.
Teaser. Man, this has been a joy, and I am so happy that this finally came into fruition.
Me too.
We've been, and the patience that we both have, I think that's such a beautiful thing when you really accept one another and know each other's hearts. You have less expectation of one another. Like, flow is real because you're allowing things to just happen naturally and beautifully, and having trust and faith that it will happen, right? Because in your heart, you're continuing, but I want to do that. I said I'm going to do that, and I'm moving towards it. We're moving towards it.
Facts.
And then, me waking up one day and being like, all right, I'm making this happen. This is happening. Like, there was a moment I had frustration. I hadn't put out any podcasts since January. So it's been 6 months and I could have got really upset. I could have, and I did. There were moments where I felt like I should be putting something out. and I'm going to lose momentum and it's going to destroy everything. But that's not the truth. The truth is I was needing space and time, and I needed to learn and grow myself.
Facts.
And have more of a relationship with you. We have this beautiful fundraiser that we're going to speak at this weekend. Deep Culture.
Big up to Deep Tropics. Big up to the Earth Guardians.
Yeah, we're gonna be working together again.
Deep Culture. Big up to Deep Culture.
And it's like,
I'm excited.
Man, I'm so pumped.
Last year I had a ball at Deep Tropics Festival. Man, it was wild. Like I have never seen that many colors sober.
Right. Okay, let's go.
No, but I've never seen colors as in like, we were speaking about racial stuff. Not colors.
It's colorful art. It's an art, culture, consciousness community. And that's what we're going to be at this fundraiser, Deep Culture.
EDM
vibes.
Very earthy, very like...
dance music, man. We're celebrating. We're doing a spiritual dance together out in Bicentennial Park.
Similar to like a Bonnaroo.
Yeah, but more it's smaller. Where I'm gonna link all that. I'm gonna link that to these videos, to these episodes. But in closing, man, you are one of the coolest people I've met ever. and that saying that means that like you've come from a place that could have really, really took you somewhere else.
Indeed.
And when I say someone is cool or like, I love them, is because I see your spirit and how much you've grown and evolved, and what you're doing in the community is seen, and it's seen by us, it's seen by you and God. Like, and that's enough. That's enough for me, at least, right?
Facts.
Because we got a whole list of shit we could be doing and that we need to do. And that's not the focus.
Right.
The focus is what can we do with what we've got. That's what I've gotten out of your words.
Indeed. And also, I receive all those words, but I also have them for you as well. like I really love your leadership. Seriously. I seriously love your leadership, and I love how you're able to flow strongly in your alignment.
Thank you.
I think that, when we are like radical humans, right? When we're like authentically ourselves in whatever space we're in, especially like when you're like in your hot box zone, you know what I'm saying? Like for real, like I truly.
That's a gym I teach at, by the way.
enjoy when I'm able to, not be around fluff, not be around bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I cherish that.
It's real.
Right? Because I know, at the end of the day, when we engage and when we do something, like we're not doing this or we're not engaging with you. It doesn't matter if we're engaging with you on a conversation, a phone call. Like it's no level of engaging with you on unpurposeful or like bullshit
level.
Superficial. That's a good word. It's no, I don't like that. So, and not everybody's going to be your round or your dog. That's not the purpose of every human. You know what I'm saying? Every human.
Right. Because we could be an example too. We could be that example. We could be that inspiration for somebody else. But for real, yeah, you are the energy you round for sure.
Big facts. And I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is dope.
Thank you.
Y'all go tap in.
Thank you so much, dude.
Everything. Black Blood Voices, Recycle, Reinvest, B4L. So much more ahead. Go get my first book, Black Blood, Volume 1, from prison to prayer through poetry.
Oh, okay.
And be on the lookout for my next book, Earth Day in the Hood. It's a children's book to teach them about sustainability.
My guy. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, all of that. And I'm going to need copies of these books.
For sure.
I think we talked about this already, but like, hey.
I want to do some type of like reading or something.
That would be cool. Okay. There's all sorts of ideas popping up right now.
Come on now.
Instagram has been like kind of this weird place for CRZ. For me, maybe like figuring out what the content is. I've been enjoying making reels. It's fun.
Algorithms.
But I thought about just reading from books on Instagram.
Hey, you know what though? That's like, I think that's dope. You know what I'm saying? I really do.
Like I'm reading books that are kind of heavy, like The Cast by Isabel Wilkerson, How to Be an Anti-Racist, White Fragility. Like
that's a good book. White Fragility.
I gave that one to Red's husband.
That's
actually
a very good book. And big up to Molly. Dang, what's her name?
Molly. Big up.
Yeah, we'll come back to the next show now.
Damn. All right, listen. Peace and love, brother. We can we can only save the planet, love the planet if we love each other. And
big facts.
If we want to love each other, we have to first love ourselves. So this is going to be the first of many. Well, no, this is the continuation of CRZ. I'm
big
back.
Facts.
And it's going to come when it's going to come, baby. It's going to flow when it's going to flow. Creativity and inspiration, money, all those things. So you want to donate, let me know.
Big facts. Big facts. Go donate.
Love y'all. Thank you for being here. This has been amazing.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to Critical Root Zone. If you'd like to reach out, email us at criticalrootzone@gmail.com.